Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Wednesday check-in. It is October 23rd, 2024, and thanks for hanging with me. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the blog, and then make sure you check out the podcast at podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com, and I'm just moving this because I don't know if you guys can hear it all that well. And make sure that you follow me on all the different social medias, and then head on over to my upcoming book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, scheduled for publication November 16th, 2024. So how are you all? So November 16th is my book launch party. But I am having a little bit of an issue right now because my edited and formatted book should have been back to me on the 16th. And the editor said that they needed a little bit extra time and asked for a 3-day extension. Not a problem. 3 days later, where's my book? Well, the book never got here. And they said, oh, I'm sorry. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm still working on it, and I am dedicated to making the best possible book for you and everything. Please just give me a little bit longer. Okay, a little bit longer. Insert SpongeBob a little while longer. Sent a message last night. Bro, where's my book? Oh, I'm sorry. I am still working on it, and it is my intention to have it to you before the 25th, blah, blah, blah. I wake up to a message. I should have it to you within the next 8 to 12 hours. I sent back a message. I said, I see that you're online right now, and I see that you are about 16 hours ahead. So that means that you've had time to get it to me, but if I don't have it by 9 p.m. my time, which will be like 2 or 4 a.m. his time, I'm going to I'm going to get a hold of the company and have them take care of it. I am running out of time, and I'm fucking nervous about it. You need to get a move on. So we'll see what happens. I am hoping and praying that he does not take until the 25th to get it to me. But if I don't have it by Thursday night, I will send him one more message and tell him he has until 9 a.m. my time Friday morning to have it to me, because that will then be like 3 or 4. Anyways, it's going to be enough time for him to have done so, or whatever. I'm tired of trying to figure out time zones. So, yeah. The public announcement went out that the book is going to be released November 16th. And everything is pseudo set in stone. Like, the the chiseler is still carving on the stone to let people know that November 16th at 2 p.m. is when the book is going to be released, and that's the book launch party, and that's this, and that's that, and whatever else. So yesterday, I'm trying to keep myself busy, because if I just sit here thinking about it, I am going to drive myself fucking crazy. But I've been working on the website for the book. I have created the entire ordering section for the book if you want to order it directly from my website. I will let you know if you order it directly from my website. I will be getting a little bit of a commission from selling it that way. So, that will be awesome if you do order it directly from the site. And I'm planning on having it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple Books, Google Books, and Kobo. So it's going to be offered on several different platforms. So you guys will have access to it. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a virtual book launch party, but I may try to have it live casting during the book launch party. So yesterday I printed up 92 flyers, and I looked them over. I made sure that everything was said and done, and ran it through spell check, the whole 9 yards. Fucking spell check did not pick up the word itinerary. I spelt it with it. Well, I thought I spelt it correctly, but I typed in an E instead of an I. So I-T-I-N, and I put I-T-E-N. So I typed E instead of I, and it didn't catch it. So I have 92 flyers that have the wrong spelling of the word itinerary on them. I have to then now Monday go and do another 92 with the correct spelling of itinerary. So yeah, I was just going to print them at home, and my printer, I'm trying to see where the ones that I printed out are, but my printer here has put lines in the picture. So yeah. So I don't know if I want to use the ones that I printed up with a little bit of lineage in the picture, or if I want to use the ones that don't have lines and I don't have to waste my ink. I can use somebody else's ink. Oh well. Anyways, Tuesday. So yesterday, I did my my fifth cold plunge, and took me almost no time to get fully up to like right here. My clavicle fucking hurts because it got broken when I was little, and my sister's like, "Oh yeah, I remember exactly when you broke it. It was when you were like 3 or 4. You got your first ATC, and you crashed it in front of Grandma's house, and there was a bunch of bruising on your neck, and we were trying to figure out why you had bruising on your neck because you didn't hit right there." My whole life, I've been told that I've never broken a bone. And yay, parents, for not taking me to the goddamn doctor to get it looked at. Honestly, I don't even know if my parents had medical insurance on themselves, let alone us growing up. I know that I had state medical once my mom and dad divorced, but while I was with them, I don't know what medical I had or whatever. But yeah, so right here, right about where the microphone is where I broke it. And it hurts each and every time that I get in that water. But it was fun. And like I said, I'm starting to notice that I am enjoying it and that I'm looking forward to it. And today I had an appointment with my primary care. And I told him, I said, okay, so whenever I go to the doctors, because I have mental health issues, problems, whatever you want to call them, I have to fill out a self-diagnosis form. Like, how many days have you felt sad, depressed, or hopeless? How has this affected you? Some of the days, most of the days, all of the days. Have you had trouble sleeping or concentrating? How many times has that happened? Do you have a poor appetite where you're overeating or undereating? Have you thought about suicide or self-harm or feelings or thoughts of hopelessness and like you would be better off dead? So I circled depression, and then I circled self-harm, and then I put most of the days, and then next to that I wrote will explain in office. And went ahead and filled out the rest of that paperwork, and then flipped it over. I had to fill out the rest of the paperwork, all that other fun stuff. So I get into the nurse calls me back, and I hand her the paperwork, and I said, I need to explain the paperwork to you. And I said, there's a spot on there, and I went through the whole spiel, and I told her everything that was going on, and she's like, okay. So she's over there on the, and what else did it, blah, blah. Okay, and so, doing that whole scolecatory thing. So my doctor comes in, he's all, hey, Michael, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. And he's all, really? And I said, I know what the pink paper says. And he started giggling. I was like, so I'll let you read her notes and then I'll explain. So he's like, okay. And he reads the notes real fast, and he looks over at me and he's like, okay, explain. So I told him, I've been having thoughts of self-harm, and I don't know where it came from, and that I did some quick evaluations on myself, did some self-harm reduction and all that other stuff, and got it figured out. Well, not really figured out, but okay, this is something new. And then I told him about doing the cold plunges and how the cold plunges have been satiating that need to hurt myself, and that it is a healthy way to do so. And he looks at me, he's like, how so? And I was like, well, it's a controlled hurt. It's a hurt that I am causing myself, but that has no long-term effects and has a lot of benefits to it. So I'm forcing myself outside of the comfort zone to get into that frigid water, and I'm forcing myself to stay in the water for up to 30 minutes. And as I'm swimming through there, it feels like nails scraping down my arms and my legs, because the circulatory system is basically shut down at that point, and all the blood is going into the core to protect it. I said, so tingling sensations of the cold and my nerves not responding properly. Like, I don't know the science behind it, but I just know that it has scratched that new itch. And that was the best way that I could think of to do something without causing long-term harm. And he's all, I like that. I like that a lot. And yeah, there are a lot of health benefits. Have you noticed any? And we went on from there and just told him about everything that was going on and like some of the things that I've noticed since doing it, and talked about the clavicle issue and talked about like how my elbow is like a lot sore than it should be and things like that. I said, but I have noticed that I also have a decreased appetite. And I don't know if that's psychosomatic or if that is part of it, but like when I get out of the cold water, the apron feels like it is spongy, like it doesn't feel real. And for those of you who are not heavy set or obese or whatever, when your stomach hangs down and at a certain point, they call it an apron because it's like just hanging fat. And so, I just told him my apron feels like it is not real. It feels very weird, and I don't know what's going on with that. I said, so yeah. Anyways, it was really good, and he was happy with some of the progresses that I was making, and he was also, we also talked about a medication that I was put on by my other doctor, and I told him, I said, I don't want to take that medication without talking to you about it first, because it says that if you have hypertension and if you're diabetic and you're this, that, and the other thing, that you really shouldn't take it because of this reason or that reason. And I said that, I wanted to talk to you about it first because, I do have hypertension and I do have, some of these other issues as well as being diabetic. And he's like, yeah, this isn't really one of those medications that I think I would have put you on per se. Let's try you on something different. I'm like, okay, I'm not here for pills. If I wanted pills, I would be in here for pills, but I don't want pills. He's like, no, and that's one thing I know about you is that you are not an addict and you're not here for whatever. Like, I've never gotten that from you in all the years that I've been your doctor. And I'm like, okay, as long as we're on the same page. Then I also told him that I got hooked up with this mental health counseling group that he suggested for the ADHD testing. And I just reiterated to him, because I don't think I had ever said anything to him in person about why it was that I was looking into it. And so I just told him, I said, I notice that there are a lot of things that I do that check off a lot of the boxes of autism and as well as ADD, ADHD, but it also can be masked in and put into the same symptoms and categories as the bipolar or the depression or the this or the that or whatever else. I said, so what I'm looking for is the formal diagnosis saying, yes, you have XYZ. So then that way I know the therapies to take and the steps to take in order to correct those behaviors. I said, so if that means that I'm mildly autistic, if I have ADHD, if I have whatever going on, that's why I am pushing so hard for this after being told by a member of the hospital that you work for that those therapies weren't available in this area. and come to find out that they are, and y'all have known about it for, this is what that's why I'm pushing for this, basically. So he was like, okay, that makes sense. And yeah, a lot of what you have described does fall under a lot of categories, and so let's just see what happens. I'm like, okay, as long as you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. So yeah, that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. On Friday, I have a Halloween costume party to go to at the bar where I play trivia. So I've got to throw together a costume really freaking quick. And so that's probably what I'm going to be doing the rest of this afternoon, is trying to get all the pieces to a costume situated and figured out and go from there. So yeah. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to check out more about the book, you can head on over to cdsthebook.com, or you can leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section down below, or shoot me an email, hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, I will talk to you then. Bye, guys. Boop.